Good evening and welcome. I'm Angela Aurora Medway-Smith. I'm the lead author of the Magdalene Oracle, Awakening the Power of the Rose, and welcome to our launch party. This is our celebration of our beautiful book that we launched on the Feast of the Magdalene, the 22nd of July this year, 2025. And we are so absolutely thrilled with its rise throughout a rise around the planet. As we speak, we have hit #1 bestseller in all categories in 7 different countries around the planet. Um, and and still rising because some countries don't put their statistics up um, at the same time as others. So it's still moving, still weaving its beautiful perfume around the planet. And I have the honour of having several of the authors of the Magdalene Oracle with us this evening. And before I introduce them all, I just want to open in prayer. It's something we've done all the way through our project. We've written this project in sacred space, and I want to continue that frequency now as we come together and celebrate and give thanks. Divine Spirit, dear Mother, Father, Creator of all that there is, beloved writing guides, divine angels, Blessed Mary Magdalene, we bow our hearts in reverence and gratitude. Every whisper of inspiration, every sacred word carried on the breath of spirit, we give thanks. For the gentle guidance of unseen hands and the radiant presence of love that's woven itself through every page, we are humbled and awed. Mary Magdalene, Lady Nada, Rose of the Divine, teacher, healer, beloved of souls, thank you for entrusting us with this holy transmission. May its words awaken remembrance, kindle hearts with the power of the rose, and bring forth healing and illumination for all those who receive it. We offer this oracle back to you as an offering of devotion and service, that it may ripple out as a blessing to every corner of the earth, anchoring light, truth, and the eternal flame of the Magdalene, and the harmonious balance of the divine feminine and masculine energies within all that there is. We give you our deepest love and eternal gratitude. Amen. And so it is. So thank you for being with us this evening. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through our beautiful book, chapter by chapter, ask each author to introduce themselves and to say where they are in the world, what their chapter title is, give it the headline, and what their practice is. And that will give you a full idea of the gifts that are within this beautiful oracle. So mine's the first chapter. So I'm going to carry on talking for a moment. And my chapter's titled The Magdalene Flame. Transform your being with the ray of new beginnings. And I talk about my remembrance of a life with Mary Magdalene and take readers through what that meant to me, how it changed my life. And then the sacred practice I give is of working with the fourth sacred ray, the ray of new beginnings, the Magdalene flame. And I explain how you can use the Magdalene flame every day in your life and how simple it is to invoke this frequency and work within this energy. So that's me. And so we move on to beautiful Eloise, who's with us this evening. And Eloise wrote chapter 2, Awakening the Magdalene Rose Within.
Hi, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for the invitation, Angela. It's a real honor to be part of this book, and it's so potent, isn't it? The energy is just absolutely amazing. So, my chapter was about awakening the oracle within through self-love. And it reminds us to connect to our body, connect to our soul, connect to the nature each day, and also to connect to Mother, Father, God, or the universe, whatever that might mean to us. And I brought forth a simple but powerful exercise that we can use daily or a few times a week, where we're working with some of the key essences of Mary Magdalene, which is connecting to nature, connecting to our heart and our soul, working with the Myrrhifore traditions with a sacred oil that she prepared and brought forth for us, working with crystals and activating the three important flames in our body with the Magdalene flame, which is the womb, the heart, and the Christ eye. And she just weaved together this perfect practice for all of us to use to activate ourselves and to deepen our energy to the Magdalene oracle within, so that we can become that oracle like we were in the ancient times, like an oracle in Delphi, where we could connect to nature for signs and symbols, connect to our womb, connect to our soul. So it's a real honor and really exciting to be part of this project. So thank you, Angela, and thank you everyone that joined us.
Bless you, Eloise. And it's beautiful. And what I love about your chapter is how we're encouraged to give self-care
Yes.
because, you know, for the healers among us and the women among us, this is something that we don't do generally. You know, it's something that we skip because, oh, there'll be time tomorrow. So it's a great reminder, an
Yeah,
absolute great reminder.
I think
So thank you for that.
it's so important, isn't it? Because we're taught about sacred service, and as mothers or womb keepers or priestesses, we're in that role of service, but we've got to fill up our cup and chalice, haven't we, before we can share that light and love with others. So I think I learned the hard way. So I'm now really putting it into practice, and that's what Magdalene wanted me to share with everybody. So thank you.
Bless you. Thank you, Cariad. So moving swiftly on to chapter 3, and the lovely Eleanor Williams is here this evening. So, Eleanor, would you like to introduce yourself and tell people about your chapter, Mary Magdalene and the Essence of the Rose?
Yes, I'm absolutely honoured to do that. I'm absolutely honoured to be a part of this beautiful book, which does really feel like a living kind of initiation, and like a living entity. So it's absolutely beautiful. So I'm very excited about it. As to my chapter, I wrote about Mary Magdalene and the red rose essence, or the essence of the red rose, and its sacred connection to water and flowers. So my message through Mary Magdalene was about just really respecting nature, but connecting through our hearts to something called the pathway of the rose, and the red rose in particular, because it's a rose of Venus and it's a rose of love. And I talk about various stories where I've connected with the Fae, or the fairies, but I like to call them the Fae, and also about the crystal consciousness as well. So um, the message really is to honor these consciousnesses, which are sort of coming more to popular consciousness now, hopefully, and that's the message that I share. And the sacred practices that I share are about making a flower essence, because I'm a flower essence practitioner and producer, and connecting with the rose through meditation. So yeah, thank
I
you.
mean, they're brilliant, and I loved your chapter, and I loved the way that the Fae talked to you as well. It was just brilliant to to be a fly on the wall and to be in the room when you're hearing those messages. I loved it. It was absolutely brilliant. But you know, some of the, the meditation with the rose, because I've tried all of the practices. I'm I'm not greedy. I have to test them out. So, and it's just seemingly so simple, but so powerful, so powerful. So I don't want anybody to think who's reading this, but oh, that looks really simple. Because when you actually do the practices, there are so many layers to them, and they are so divine, so divine. So thank you so much, Eleanor, for being part of the book and for sharing your wisdom and your story. It's absolutely beautiful.
Thank you for
Th-
having me. And
Thank you.
just to say, if I may as well, the simple practices, like you say, it really is about just stripping back and finding the way of the heart, connecting through your heart with nature, and in particular the red rose in this instance.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So, chapter 4 was written by my dear friend, Reverend Dr. Tracy Mulshafer. Tracy's not with us this evening, so I'll give you the headlines. And her chapter is called She Calls. And she writes about receiving the Magdalene's message through sacred sites. So, Tracy's story takes us down through the temples of the Nile, and she recounts an experience where she's in the temple at Philae and she's hearing the voice of the divine feminine instructing her and and basically telling her to step up. A few of us have had those messages, haven't we? To move on and actually step into her sovereignty and do the work that her soul came here to do. And her practice is absolutely beautiful. It's about transmuting duality with the divine feminine and masculine for unification within. So it really and truly is a practice to help you balance the divine feminine and divine masculine within. Absolutely gorgeous. And again, thank you to Tracy for being part of this sacred transmission. We are so grateful for your wisdom. So chapter 5 was written by my dear friend Sheila Applegate. So welcome, Sheila.
Welcome. I'm glad to be here.
So bless you, Cariad. Would you like to tell people about your chapter, Awakening to Divine Love?
Yes. So in my chapter, I talk about how Mary Magdalene stood by my side most of my life, but particularly I focus on my relationship with what I call the twin flame, which is when it's the other half of us. So it's the last essence of oneness or God that we separate from before we become that individual soul. And I talk about the struggle that creates, because if you can imagine being with someone who knows you more than you know yourself, and then still being in two different human bodies and trying to navigate that, and then in my case taking that divine union beyond the physical world as he crossed into the spirit world. So I take you on that journey with me, which is also about just returning to the own soul of oneness within ourselves. And the gift that I give you is a guided meditation that Magdalene showed me to help me return to that remembrance of oneness and that union, which I call the Golden Sphere meditation. And that is for anyone, whether they have any essence of a twin flame on earth or not. It helps all of us to return to that love of Magdalene and also the union within us. And then I also give a channeled message from Magdalene as well.
It's absolutely beautiful, Sheila, and I know I shared with you, even when you know my first reading of the chapter, it brought me to tears. It's so beautiful, just so beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. I cried through the whole writing of it, and it was a very healing process for me. So I thank Magdalene for pushing me to doing it.
Oh, bless you, bless you. Yeah, the experience of writing is different for all of us, and different through the different books that we're part of as well. And yeah, I've experienced that myself, where I've just sat in floods of tears while I've been writing. It's powerful, and the power comes over in the words. You know, it comes through. It weaves through the words. You can feel you can feel it. You can feel it. It's absolutely beautiful, and your practice is just exquisite.
Thank you. And I would
Thank you.
say, just to add, I want to say they were tears of grace, because not necessarily pain, though pain can be mixed in there, but the tears that I wrote for the grace.
Yeah. Bless you, Cariad. Thank you.
Thank you.
So next in our beautiful book is a chapter by Tony Haslam, and Tony's not with us this evening, so I'll talk a little bit about it. So Tony writes about her spiritual awakening and the healing power of love, compassion, and forgiveness. So she talks us through a process, a very difficult part of her life, when she's losing her mum, and how she navigates that. And then she moves us into a really beautiful practice and teaches us how we can create a bridge between heaven and earth, how we can actually connect to those who have crossed over. So how we can create an altar, and all the way through connecting with Mary Magdalene, through this connection to loved ones and pets. Absolutely beautiful. And it's such a shame that Tony can't be with us this evening, and just sending her all our love. And yeah, and I'm just again so grateful that Tony has shared her wisdom with everybody. It's absolutely beautiful. So Caroline Mary wrote chapter 7. So your life is your own. So Caroline, would you like to tell people about you and your chapter and your practice, Cariad?
Right, thanks, Angela. Like everyone here, I'm really honoured, and like you said, Sheila, it felt like an initiation moving through this process, or perhaps somebody else said that, but I had the first image in my head as soon as we started the process of the labyrinth, and I was stood in the middle of Chartres' labyrinth channeling light language, and it was just such a powerful moment in my life to know how clear a vessel we can be when we're in that alignment. And that scene came through in an instant. I was like, great, this chapter's going to be a breeze to write. And then I just hit a wall. And I just had to dig and dig and dig and dig. And if you've read the chapter already, you'll see how ironic it is that I was living my own process, because the process that I share is something called Coming to Peace, and it's something that I do with my coaching clients, and it mirrors the labyrinth, because when we're in a human form, we don't always access our higher self, we don't always access that wisdom, and we need a way of processing challenges as they arise. And I certainly know that I've had a fair share of those, and not always external challenges, but often a lot of inner conflict, because of the time we're in, we are integrating soul parts from many, many lives. So like Angela, I believe I've lived with them and had lives with Mary Magdalene, and always felt the presence of Jesus and that light family. But I've also had a lot of aspects of me that didn't believe I was worthy, didn't trust it, and didn't know how that would express in the world. And the coming to peace process has really helped me keep journeying in. So if you think of a labyrinth, we start on the outside, we might make an intention like in Tony's chapter, and we journey within and we go deeper and deeper and we go through all these twists and turns, and then right in the middle you find that key, or that core, that pearl that transforms as we look at it, and we journey in. I was just reading a post of Vipassana earlier, and I was reminded about that practice, because I've been doing what I didn't know was Vipassana, but when I did Vipassana retreat, I realized, because the deeper you go within, you're releasing on a cell level. So even though, like you said, the practice seems quite simple, it seems almost just like talking therapy, actually what we're doing is unraveling and unfurling so that we can come into the heart of any challenge. And I have used this practice time and time and time and time again, because I've had lots of those conflicts. So when the chapter birthed through me after a lot of praying and a lot of asking for help, it just all made sense to me, and the connection to the labyrinth. So it's kind of a parallel practice, and I'm really looking forward to offering then practices with real life labyrinths and inviting people to do the practice with that. So that's me. And thank you so much for including me. And it's just a real honor to walk with these amazing women. I'm like, it's like a dream come true, a very surreal one at that. So yeah, thank you so much, everybody. And thanks, Angela, for calling us to action. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Caroline. And what makes this book special is that everybody has written from the heart, and you, as I said about Sheila's chapter, you can feel it, the thread running all the way through, the vulnerability, the authenticity, the love. It just runs all the way through, but it all moves into sacred practices that bring us into our sovereign selves. We've been there and been burnt at the stake and then risen again. So yeah, not that you have in your chapter, but yeah, metaphorically. Thank you, Caroline. Thank you. Bless you, Cariad. So chapter 8 is written by the beautiful Eleanor Grudzinski-Muyard. And Ellen is not with us this evening. And so I'll tell you a little bit about the chapter. It's called Ave Maria, and an initiation to rose medicine to become a pillar of faith. And Eleanor talks about an initiation into her initiation as a Magdalene priestess in Glastonbury a few years ago, and what she experienced as a result of that initiation. It's a really powerful story that actually took her, deep into a dark night of the soul and then brought her back out again. Not all of these initiations are light and airy. They are very often massive challenges that our souls have decided to accept before we've come to the planet. But as we're negotiating and weaving our way through them, they are and can be incredibly challenging. And her practice is one of using the hymn Ave Maria as a mantra, but not in terms of Ave Maria talking about Mary. It's Ave Maria and intending that Maria can be Mary Magdalene, can be Isis, can be Kuan Yin, can be your client. And it's using that prayer as an anchor. And I sang it as a child. And so I found myself singing all the way through her chapter and literally singing the contralto part, which was really interesting for me. But the more I sang, the more the deeper and deeper and deeper this energy went within me, because I'd never actually recognized it in the way that she describes it before. So it's really, really beautiful. And bless you, Eleanor, and thank you so much for being part of this sacred transmission. Absolutely beautiful chapter. So chapter 9 was written by the lovely Terry Wellbrook, who can't be with us this evening. And it's called The Forgiveness Prism, Radiating Gratitude Within the Chaos. Terry writes about some huge challenges that she's had over time and how she's come through those challenges by working with the actual practices that she gives you in the chapter. And these are these are practices that you can use to release yourself from acts that you may have had done against you. So you turn from becoming the victim to the victor by actually forgiving. But it's forgiving as a prism and shining that forgiveness out. Excuse me. And it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful, and a really powerful read for anybody who has had horrible things done to them and challenges through their lives. You know, really practical, really practical tool and practice that you can use. And I just want to give a shout out to Terry as well, because Terry's actually the voice artist who is going to be or voicing the audiobook for us. And she has almost completed it. And we are looking for, and I was going to be talking about it at the end, but I want to talk about it while I'm talking about Terry. We're going to be releasing it on the Lionsgate on the 8th of August. So we'll have a beautiful audiobook available very, very soon so that people can listen. I listen to audiobooks more than I sit down and read these days. So I'm just so glad that we can open this beautiful transmission and to everybody who is too busy to sit down and read a book. So huge gratitude for Terry for taking on that project. Okay, so chapter 9, I'm going to be talking a lot. There's a few authors missing tonight. So chapter 9 is written by Sandy Rufo. And Sandy is one of 2 authors that we have from the Magdalene Collective, a group of women who are leading an incredible revival, I want to call it, because I can't think of another word. They're so active. And Sandy's chapter is called Awakening the Magdalene Within. Learn to lead with love, not fear. And Sandy actually takes us through the journey of Mary Magdalene, and she talks about, you know, how she was besmirched and how now is the time for people to listen to her story, to hear her story. And she talks about herself and how Mary Magdalene's presence and energy has helped her to become the woman that she has today. And then she gives us her sacred practice, which is called soul voice activation. And she takes us through the 7 powers of the ego that were found in Mary Magdalene's Gospel, and the practice is actually based on those and on those lessons, and it's incredibly powerful. So thank you so much, Sandy, for being part of this beautiful collaboration and shining your light. Some of us were very blessed to be part of a summit held by the Magdalene Collective in the run-up to the launch of our book, and I'm hoping we're going to be working with them a lot more in the coming months as well. So thank you so much, Sandy, for that. And Nicolette, is Nicolette with us this evening? I can't see her. No. Okay. So chapter 11 is written by Nicolette Reichel, and it's called Your Life is Sacred, Make Love to It, singing the Magdalene frequency inside her cave. And Nicolette takes us on a beautiful experience and talks about a visit to Mary Magdalene's cave in the south of France and what she heard within that cave and how that has impacted on her life. And her practice is a beautiful practice. It's about creating a somatic souvenir in the practice of sacred surrender. Because when we experience something on a physical level, our body will remember that experience and it becomes that somatic souvenir. So she talks about very simple things by just using the voice for humming and moaning and using ancient vowels. Again, seemingly simple, but incredibly powerful. So thank you, Nicolette, for being part of this beautiful collaboration. You are missed. Another author, chapter 12, Angela Solrose. So Angela's a US author, and her chapter's titled Rebirthing the Feminine Christ, the Inner Mysteries of Desire. Now, Angela recounts an experience that she had over 20 years ago where she was embodied by the Magdalene frequency, and it's absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. And then her practice is birthing the feminine Christ through enlightening your inner desire. So it's about opening a portal to the inner mysteries where desire transforms from a binding force into a liberating power. And in doing this, we can strengthen the pathways for ourselves and others to find the way home to divine love. So bless you, Angela. Thank you so much for being part of this collaboration and your incredible practice. It's just absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so the beautiful Lisa Magdalena Bardell authored chapter 13, which is called The Invocation of Mary Magdalene, an ancient initiatrix for modern times. And Lisa shares a couple of personal stories from her journey and that have shaped the priestess who she's become today. Absolutely fascinating. I don't want to give it all away by telling you what they're all about. So I don't want to tell everybody too much in case there are people who are listening to this who haven't read the book yet. But the stories that Lisa shares are powerful and heartwarming. And the practice she gives are a blend of two different practices. So she's giving her womb of life, Magdalene Healing and Rebirth practice within this. And the second part is the invocation of Mary Magdalene, which is what's mentioned in the chapter title. And that is again seemingly simple, but so powerful. Very simply chanting her name. And when we do this, it's incredible. When we do this in sacred space, it is incredible. And I would encourage everybody to try. It's absolutely gorgeous. So thank you, Lisa, for hearing the call and being part of this beautiful project, Cariad. You are missed. Chapter 14 is written by Swanee Lowert, who is a beautiful Belgian lady who lives in France. And her chapter is entitled Mary Magdalene, Discovering Her, Discovering Myself, Awaken the Divine Goddess Within Through Inner Dance and Quantum Healing. And Swanee tells the story of moving to the Saint Baume area and not knowing anything about her story, about Mary Magdalene's story, and what she learnt over what she learnt from the forest, what she learnt from the caves, and how she's come through this journey. And she shares these incredible practices of quantum healing activation and inner dance that, again, are seemingly simple but incredibly powerful. So I know that there are more than one of our beautiful authors that organise and work on retreats in the area, and I'll be talking a little bit at the end about French retreats as well, and Swanee is one of them. Now, chapter 15 was written by the wonderful Aurea Magdalene, who is with us this evening. So Aurea is here all the way from California. Welcome, Aurea. Would you like to tell our listeners about your chapter and your practice, my darling?
Yes, thank you. First, I want to say just really deep blessings to all of your hearts. We're all so grateful, and to you, Angela. So my chapter is called It's Time to Step Up. You've suffered enough now in this life, or something like that. And I was also, like Sheila, I've been in the twin soul cauldron for 30 years now. And so it was back when, probably 20 years ago, when in a particular time of suffering, that Mother Anna appeared to me in a big golden ball of light. And she said to me, basically, you've suffered enough in the egoic realms. You've learned enough that it's absolutely not necessary for you to suffer for another moment. And she said, come. And she brought me up to this circle of Magdalene women. And it's sort of what I learned there. It was just so precious. And then the practice was something given to me by Mary Magdalene when I was, again, a kind of a younger kind of psychotherapist, overgiving like the rest of us. And I'm an energy worker, really, mostly. I'm a clairvoyant, kind of a seer of how enlightenment works in the energy body, and, helping people to get stronger in their core. And so she taught me that the arms go out to the other people, right? And to your work and to your children, and that the core is carrying, your frequency, your sound, but that the arms are often at a lower vibration because they're trying to interface, right, with the human world. And so she taught me how to basically use the arms to clean them of those heavier energies and put them back into the truth of your sound, and that energizes your creativity, and then you're giving. All of you have already learned this pretty much, I think, but then your giving is faster, cleaner, right, and bright, and not fussy and not codependent, right? Yeah. So I think that's all. I've been so joyful and a little bit out of my body since we launched. Yeah, so bless all of you.
Oh, bless you, Raya. It's been a bit of a roller coaster ride the last week. It's been intense, and the externally the energies have also been intense. So it's a really exciting. It's been a really exciting time for us. Really exciting. Bless you, Cariad, and thank you for hearing the call and being part of this beautiful project. Bless you. So, chapter 16 was written by the lovely Carrie Malone Schultz, and it's entitled The Power of Petitioning Magdalene, How a Simple Ritual Became a Portal to Divine Wisdom. And Carrie talks about how, on a daily basis, she writes petitions, and she teaches how she tells a fabulous story about how she's asked for something and how it manifested. But the practice of writing petitions, how we can use those petitions and to get what we want, to get what we need, to help us with our struggles, to help us with dealing with the energy that we're dealing with at the time. And it's a really practical practice. But again, one that shouldn't be overlooked because of its simplicity. So bless you, Carrie. Thank you so much for being part of this beautiful project. Carrie is another co-founder of Magdalene Rising Collective, and they're working to resurrect the lost wisdom of Mary Magdalene. So much gratitude to Carrie and Sandy for that work. So last but not least, and you've waited a long time, Natalie, is the beautiful Natalie Lebont. So chapter 17, Natalie wrote about the love of the rose. Natalie, would you like to unmute and tell us about you and your chapter and your practice, my darling?
Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much, Angela. This week has been a whirlwind in all of the best ways of really birthing the Magdalene Oracle into the world and seeing how it's changing people. So I'm based in the US, I'm in New Hampshire, and my chapter is The Love of the Rose, Reclaiming Sovereignty Through the Resurrection Rite. And my story, it was this incredibly profound moment that I had in Mary Magdalene's church in Saint-Maximin in France. And I, of course, want to make sure for anyone who hasn't read it yet that you still get a really, you get a surprise reading it. But we dive into the layers of unworthiness that I was completely unconscious to. And it's so interesting how, at least for me, but I feel like I do see this, with some of my clients, where when we're on this spiritual journey and we're remembering our divinity, where there's that bridge and that opportunity to look at the ways that we have felt unworthy in many different areas of our life. And it really wasn't until Mary Magdalene brought this to my attention that I had any awareness. I was completely unconscious. So in my journey and my story, we're kind of looking at the power of dissension and the necessity of being here in the body and going through these periods where we're really reconciling these facets of ourselves, and then the process of coming out on the other side. And so the resurrection rite that came through while I was writing the chapter. And I feel a very deep connection to the ray of resurrection. So Mary Magdalene and Yeshua are masters on that ray. And with this rite that came through that Mary Magdalene guided me on, it was such a beautiful journey of remembering that innate power that we have that's never left us, and being able to call upon that, reclaim that whenever we have that calling from our soul to be reborn anew. That's something that we all hold. So thank you again, Angela, for just weaving these sacred threads together and bring all of us together. It was such a beautiful experience.
Bless you, Cariad. And your practice, there were echoes in there of the resurrection practices that the Essene community carried out. That was the first thing. As soon as I read that, I thought, oh my God, this is taking us back to those ancient practices, but with a modern twist that modern day people can access. So bless you for being the channel for that. It's just incredible, just so beautiful. Bless you, Cariad. Thank you so much. Okay, so I just want to say a few more thank yous to all the other people who've helped us to launch our beautiful book. So a big thank you to Ava Andrea, who wrote the foreword for our beautiful book. So I met Ava about 5 years ago when she appeared in my life when I needed a book coach. And she, as an exchange, I channeled to her Mary Magdalene group while she went through my first book, The Book of Many Colours. And so that, that's how far we go back. So I was so grateful that Ava would write the foreword for our beautiful book, and all of our peer reviewers as well. So a shout out to, I don't want to miss anybody out, so I'm going to go through the book. To Amy Gillespie Doherty, to the wonderful Ellie Chappell and Diana Leader, to Willow Jordan, to Deborah Byers, and to the inimitable Pam Evans, the founder of Peace Mala. Peace Mala is a charity I'm treasurer of that works with for the promotion of peace and education of children. It's a beautiful project. And of course, to Karen Advincula, who has been bringing up the rear and helping me keep organised, and to Michelle Emerson, who is the lady I rely on to do the big part of the editing, and Ramona Snow, who is our designer. Thank you to everybody, notwithstanding our artists, Cheryl Yambrach Rose and who created the channeled art for the cover, and Marita Bat-Shoshan, who's Rose. Rose adorns the back cover. Now, the rose has come out beautifully on the back cover, but her painting, where the rose comes from, hasn't come out very well on the inside. It's such a shame. If you want to see Marita's work, then you just head over to Facebook. She's got a Facebook page where you can see that original artwork. So huge gratitude. Notwithstanding, of course, Mary Magdalene, Lady Nada, and all of the guides that have supported us. Just so much gratitude. So what's next? What's next? So our audio book is next. As I said, Terry Wellbrook is voicing this, and that's going to be released on the 8th of August. I'm sure that lots of our authors have got events coming up, and I'll open the floor to the people who are here to tell me about their events in a moment, but I'll tell you about mine. I've got a Mary Magdalene Reiki retreat in Avalon in December, 5th to the 7th of December. In Avalon, I mean Glastonbury. And then in 2026, I've been talking with some of the authors about an Egyptian pilgrimage and a French pilgrimage. So watch this space for what's happening on those. I will also be talking to our friends at the Magdalene Rising Collective about creating a summit for us authors to see if we can just have a Magdalene Oracle Summit. And I'm going to have a drum roll, but I don't have a drum. We're going to be translating our beautiful book into French. That'll be coming soon. And my guides are talking about Spanish as well. I hadn't really thought about it, but if I'm told to do it, then it'll happen. So that's really exciting. We've got all these things happening in the coming year. So so blessed for that. So if any of the authors here have any events coming up that they'd like to tell people about, please put your virtual hand up and then I can come to you. Eloise.
Thank you, Angela. Well, I had a really exciting Magdalene feast day, because not only did I have the beautiful launch of the book with all you gorgeous goddesses and priestesses, I had the second edition of the Magdalene Rose Oracle come out, which was the upgraded oracle. And part of that training, Mary Magdalene channeled to me a class called Awakening the Oracle Within, which is a 2-day class and retreat that's going to be here in Glastonbury, where I take people through every step of activating their cards, learning how to read the Magdalene cards and the frequencies and the keys and the codes within them. So the next class is the 24th and 25th of August. So really excited about welcoming people here to Glastonbury to that event, and that includes a pack of the cards. So that's my main focus, as well as the book at this current time, which I'm really excited about. So thank you for letting me share.
Fabulous. Thank you, Eloise. And this is the re-release. I've got a pack of Eloise's original cards, and I used them during a Magdalene activation at the Mind Body Spirit Festival in London. And I've used them before that, but I've used them within activation and classes myself as well. So I can attest to their potency. They are absolutely beautiful. Thank you.
7 years in the awakening, and I had been doing, as you know, you've read the book, I've been reading oracle cards since I was 18, and I wanted it to be not just an oracle card that you were reading. I wanted there to be a solution. So that's why I created the cards, is so that each card is an activation and a solution in itself, which, as you know, has a crystal, a Myrrh blend, and an invocation and an affirmation, so that when somebody picks a card, then they've got some energies and frequencies to work with to manifest their desire, you know. So I'm really excited about working with the new deck with everybody. So thank you, Angela.
Bless you, Eloise. Thank you. So Caroline raised her physical hand and Sheila's raised her virtual hand. So Caroline, I'll come to you first, Cariad.
Hi, I just thank you, Angela. I just wanted to hop on and say that while we've been playing with these beautiful energies, I've been working behind the scenes on my first solo book, and that comes out a week on Friday, and that is Who Called You Crazy? You're Having a Spiritual Awakening. So it's funny because it feels like the Magdalene Oracle is like the how to say it, like a peak and energy of awakening. Is such a beautiful combination of my journey to be part of this, and the Who Called You Crazy? You're Having a Spiritual Awakening is really about the first iterations of my journey when I was having immense psychic activations and people around me were thinking I was completely la. And of course, all of you probably have similar situations. So anyway, I just wanted to let our beautiful communities and readers know that if you're interested in that, you can find me on Facebook, Caroline Mary, and follow any links that you see there, and that'll be coming out soon. So thank you for letting me.
Bless you, Caroline, and congratulations. And it's fabulous. I love the way yeah, I'm not going to spoil it for people. It's fabulous. So bless you. And congratulations for getting it there, getting to the post. Bless you. So Sheila.
Congratulations, Caroline. So I just wanted to say Natalie is coming to my area, and we're going to do a combination book release celebration and channeling and reading on the 27th of August at the Unity Church here. So that's exciting. And then Aurelia and I are talking about sometime in the winter doing something in California together on Twin Flames and Magdalene. So it's fun.
My gosh. Oh my gosh, I want to come. That's so exciting. So exciting. That's wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Wonderful. Bless you. Bless you. And any other authors want to share anything before we close for the evening? No? Okay. Oh, my heart is full. It I don't have the words to of gratitude for everything that each and every one of you has brought to this beautiful collaboration, this sacred transmission. I just don't have the words. And so thank you doesn't seem enough, but thank you on so many layers from me. So I'm going to close us in sacred space now. Divine Spirit, dear Mother, Father, Creator of all that there is, guides, guardians, beings of light who support us, our beloved Magdalene. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts for all you've brought, for all you will continue to bring. We ask that you continue to guide us, to inspire us, to illuminate us, and to help us to embody our divinity and stand in our sovereignty, in the Magdalene frequency, in the Rose frequency, that we can be beacons of light for those who need to see. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. Amen. So on that note, I just want to say thank you to everybody for joining us this evening. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and thank you to each and every one of our advanced reader team. I didn't mention them earlier on, but we could not have done this without you. We are so, so grateful to each and every one of you. Have an amazing rest of your day, your evening, your night, whatever part of the world you're in. And hopefully we will see you soon. We have a Facebook group for all of the Oracle books. And so I will put the link in the chat for those of you who don't know about it. I wasn't prepared for this, but just give me a moment. So this is where we'll announce to all of our supporters, all of our followers on Facebook, anything that we've got coming up with the Magdalene Oracle or the other Oracle books. So I'll just pop that in the chat here for anybody who is interested. So I'll be encouraging all of the authors from all of the Oracle books to join, and so that we can continue to collaborate, continue to share this beautiful work. So bless you all, and sending so much love from the bottom of my heart. Take care now. Good night.